I'm living in one room while I stay there.
It's still a business.
I understand.
Maybe I don't understand. I mean, I am super confused. She's taking up a room that's supposed to be there to be let out. She's not moving into it, but her business is going to be there, both businesses. And the only reason she has space in Flagstaff is for a remote relationship with me and Robyn.
Hey friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is Friday, October 6th, 2023, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Meri Brown breaks the news that she's moving to Utah, and Kody and Meri and Robyn end up in a tense conversation, which actually leaves Meri crying and Kody almost indifferent to the situation. But Kody's not just indifferent in this clip. No, he's actually more than indifferent. What he is frustrated with Robyn. And this actually might be one of the first times that we see Kody express his frustration with Robyn for having the backs of her sister wives. And while most of us don't like Robyn, this actually shows that Kody doesn't want anyone telling him what to do. He's clearly trying to interfere in the relationship between Robyn and Meri, which, I mean, I don't know. But the dysfunction here is telling, and he gets mad at Robyn for advocating for Meri. Robyn has walked into this family since day one, acting like she owned the family. Even when you go back and watch the very first episodes of the season one, you see Robyn acting as though she had an entitlement to Kody that none of the other wives had. She would use excuses like she needed to have her kids get acclimated, or she needed the time with the family before Kody, or she would like fight with the wives about their frustrations about what she was getting before they were even married. She was even quite rude. Over the years, her demeanor on the show has changed, and she acts, I don't know, more reserved or a little bit less haughty. She was very, very, very sassy in the very first seasons. And then you see her lose that as the seasons go on. And that could just be her playing to the camera. This new clip comes from Us Magazine and was released earlier this morning. And I don't know. It was an interesting view into the situation. And Meri gets quite emotional here. So let's dive into today's topic. Before we do, can you please do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, please subscribe to my channel if you have not yet subscribed by clicking on the subscribe button down below. Click on the bell so you can get notified of any time I go live or new content loads. And if you have something that you would like to say, make sure to say it, and please share this video with your friends.
Kody's not sure why I would use one of the rooms that we would rent out. Why does he care? I mean, he hasn't cared what room I sleep in for the last, decade. So I don't know why he'd care now. But does he not remember that there was this space that my mom stayed in, and she's clearly not using it anymore? So maybe I just use that same space.
It is an interesting take here that Kody would care what place that Meri stays in, because it was last season, once Bonnie passed away, that Kody actually suggested that Meri move up to Parowan to run the B&B. And now he's like, well, she's going to stay in one of the rooms that they're putting out, and she's going to live in one room. And Meri will have a place in Flagstaff to have a remote relationship with Kody and Robyn. I'm very confused by this whole situation because I don't know why he cares. And obviously Meri doesn't know why he cares. And this is really like a nonsense kind of interaction here. It's the meat of this conversation gets a little bit more intense in this next clip, but Kody wanted her to move up last year once Bonnie passed away, and he doesn't care that she moves there now, trust me. But why he cares that she's going to stay in there is probably about money. Like, because he somehow probably feels entitled to whatever money she makes still. And I think that's what he's talking about. And she's saying, well, why doesn't he care? Because he hasn't cared why I've slept for the last many years. But I think he cares because it's money. And he believes he has and is entitled to money because he's Kody Brown.
To be honest with you, I'm like gonna break it all down. Like, what do I want to do with it? I don't know. I don't want to live there. I don't want it to be my house. I've said since the second we were kicked out of Utah, I don't want to live back in Utah. I don't want you to think that I'm walking away because, sorry, I still have hope, okay? At this point with a house, with a business, I have no idea what to do with it. And it causes me more anxiety than you have any idea.
So Meri doesn't want to live in Utah, but P.S., she lives in Utah now. And she doesn't want to move to Utah because she doesn't want him to think that she's giving up on their relationship, even though he's already given up on their relationship. And now you understand, and now at least I understand, why she was trying to do those ridiculous retreats that she was charging obscene amounts of money for. It seems like she didn't want to run the home as an inn anymore, but would have rather used it for events and charged obscene amounts of money, which, by the way, those retreats were not super successful given that no one actually booked them. And she was playing with this idea that she was going to turn the inn into a place where you could have retreats. Unfortunately, that didn't really work out for Meri. Meri still is at the inn. I'm assuming the inn is still up and running, although recently you couldn't even book a room for like more than a year, so I don't know. She bought this house knowing it was a bed and breakfast. It is zoned for that purpose. I don't even know if she could go back to live in it or if she would have to have the house rezoned in order to use it as her single residence. But she didn't buy the home either to be a single family residence. It's a property that's not her primary home. It's interesting, but Kody has no reaction, and clearly that's making her extremely emotional. And I guess I can't blame her. I mean, it's gotta hurt to see him not care.
I was really just kind of hoping that he would care a little bit more. There wasn't really anything specific that I wanted him to say or do. I just wanted him to have an air of caring, and that just was not there.
She just doesn't want it to be like her. She doesn't want to move there.
It just wasn't ever my intention. It's not what I wanted. But like conversations like this basically just tell me, go ahead, Meri, and just live your life on your own like you've been doing, because nothing else is going to change.
I was watching an episode of, I don't even remember, it was a doctor talking about narcissism, and they were talking about how narcissists don't know how to attach to the emotions of the people that they're talking to. They don't have any empathy, and they can like exert a level of coldness, and that someone that's a narcissist can say things that are really cruel, and they don't have any attachment to what that does to the person that they're hurting with those words. And they also can not respond in ways that, again, seem to be cruel to the situation. Because given that Kody has said, you know, we're good, we're having this, we're getting along, but I don't want to reconcile, he's not even responding to her. He's not even acting like he cares that she's going to leave. And he doesn't have to act like he cares, but he could at least show some interest. But he's just so indifferent, ambivalent, and cold. And Meri is responding to that coldness by getting emotional. And Kody will weaponize her emotions against her and make her feel like her having emotions is bad because Kody doesn't have emotions. I can't imagine what it would be like to be in a relationship with him. And he's been stringing this poor woman along for years, not telling her to her face how he feels, but saying it on the show, which is so cruel. And then she's telling him she's going to have to move, and he's just like, And Robyn's like, well, she doesn't want to have to move, and he's just not even responding. So clearly this is another sign to Meri that, well, he just does not care. And that, again, would be heartbreaking, but it's clear she's waking up.
What I'm seeing here is Robyn being an advocate of me and Meri and our reconciliation in our marriage. And they're making me feel very uncomfortable. I got one wife that I've got a great relationship with, and I'm afraid if I abandon these women that she'll lose respect for me.
So Kody is trying to blame Robyn for the reasons why he's stringing Meri along, as though he's saying, I can't let go of her. I can't let go of Meri, because if I let go of Meri, then Robyn's not going to respect me, and then Robyn's not going to give me the narcissistic supply I want, and then Robyn's going to try to leave me. And he has said 500 different reasons why he won't let go of the relationship. One being that he says that he can't, under his faith, walk out or abandon a wife because their divorces are not supported, or he can't leave, but they can. So what he does is that he abandons them. He hangs them out to dry. He ignores them so that they will leave. Now, he didn't want Meri there for whatever reason, whether it was the catfishing, whether it was her personality, whether it was their child that he and her were sparring over, whether it was the fact that he couldn't control her. I don't know, but he has been very clear that he doesn't want her there. And so now he wants to blame Robyn for why he feels like he can't abandon Meri. And then he's claiming that Robyn's allegiance with Meri is making him uncomfortable, which is indicative of the fact that Kody for years has pit the women against each other. And that's why he will tell Robyn stories about Christine that will make her feel suspicious of Christine. So he'll play into Robyn's sort of paranoia and her fear that people are out to get her. She has a very paranoid personality, in my opinion. And she feels like everybody has like some sort of slight, and she's going to become the victim. And Kody clearly plays into that with Robyn. And with Meri, he can't handle the fact that she has a opinion, that she has a voice, that she will hold him accountable. And that is dangerous to him. He doesn't want to be held accountable. I think in another way, having Meri around to Robyn and these other wives, they can tell Robyn who he actually is. And so if he can isolate Robyn from the rest of them, she will never know the truth about things that he's done to them because she won't trust them. He has probably made her feel like she can't trust any of them at all. And so if they were to tell her something, because narcissists love to smear people, they love to tell stories that aren't true. So he could say things about Christine that aren't true, Janelle that aren't true, and Meri that aren't true, that make Robyn not trust them. So that when they do tell Robyn about whatever it is, whether it's mistreatment or situations that went with them, she's automatically not going to trust them because he's already made their credibility questionable. And then he's also probably told Robyn that these women have something against him and made her feel like they don't want anything to do with her. That's not to say that Robyn hasn't in her own right pit Kody against the other wives by telling him stories about what they're doing to her to make it so that he will take her side. I remember very clearly someone that knows Robyn and knows her ex-husband and knows Kody said to me that Robyn and Kody are literally like two peas in a pod. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? And they said they have the exact same personality. They are both narcissists. They both love attention. They both love money, and they will both pit people against each other. They both alienate people, and they both just want everything for themselves. They don't have any empathy for anyone else. Robyn came into this situation, I think, believing she could, in a way, play Kody. Kody probably felt that he could play her. And what's happening now is that he's not controlling or being able to control Robyn because Robyn wants to help Meri. As convoluted as all of that sounds, I do see Robyn in this position trying to help Meri, and I can see why Meri might have relied on Robyn in the past, because Kody has no patience for her, and he does have patience for Robyn. But Kody's indifference here towards Meri is actually really sad to me. And on top of that, it's just him like now putting the blame on Robyn is just so typical of him. And this is where I was saying last week that I feel like Robyn's going to blame him and say he tricked me into getting married so she can set the stage to leave, right? And then I feel like he's going to blame her for why everything fell apart. Like, you weren't a good enough sister wife. You didn't try hard enough. Because what I always wonder about Robyn is, how does she watch what he's doing to these other people, unless he's kept her in a bubble, which he does, which would make her think that everything that they're saying is lies. But how could she witness firsthand how he's treating these women and then think he couldn't do that to me? If your spouse is treating another love interest poorly, he can automatically and 100% do that too, especially a narcissist who will idealize you in the beginning, and then they'll start tearing you down, and then they're going to like try to discard you, and then they're going to hover. And he has spent a lot of years with Robyn idealizing her because there was no one else to get in the way of that. But now that they're only left with the two of them, he's not going to idealize her anymore. And some of the wives and kids say that Kody and Robyn are like soulmates. I completely disagree. You can't be a soulmate with someone that doesn't have a soul, and Kody doesn't have a soul. And Kody can't love anyone but himself, and Robyn probably can't love anyone but herself. Kody is flipping this on Robyn. Cody's mad at Robyn. Cody's indifferent to Meri, and poor Meri's just emotional and just wants him to care. And it's sad. I feel bad for her. So tell me what your thoughts are about this in the comments below. Bye, guys.